Going on, man. Terrance Crawford got options if he wants it. The man who's been saying forever that no one wants to fight him. Um, he's ready to fight anybody. Uh, he seems to have a lot of different options that are available to him if he wants to take it. You know, yeah, he said, you want Earl Spence, but he's come out and said that he wouldn't fight Earl Spence next, even if it was offered to him, just due to the fact that he wants no excuses when he fights Earl Spence. And he actually said when he had talked to Earl Spence said, yeah, for my next fight, I either want Manny Pacquiao, I want Danny Garcia, or I want you. I want one of those to be my next fight. And Terrence Crawford actually told him, nah, you shouldn't fight any of us. You should take a tune-up fight and then fight one of us or fight me. That's what Terrence Crawford is saying. You know what I mean? So everybody is talking about, Spence needs to fight him next. Spence needs to fight him next. Well, out of Terrence Crawford's own mouth, he wouldn't fight him next. Manny Pacquiao's not going to fight him. We all know that. They had the opportunity to do that. Didn't happen. You know what I mean? Bob Arum didn't make it happen when they were both on the same side. Manny Pacquiao wanted $20 million, guaranteed purse. They wouldn't give him to him because it, quote, wasn't worth it. They weren't willing to make that investment in order to turn Terrence Crawford into a star and to put him to a space where he has a lot of leverage in his fights. They chose not to do that. So he's not doing that right now. That's number two. But he does have options out there now. You have Keith Thurman who's saying, hey, I'm willing to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Put up that money and I'll fight you. So fight him. Absolutely fight him. Or like he said, put out the contract and I'll sign it. So people always saying, call his bluff, call his bluff, call his bluff. Well, in this particular situation, call Keith Thurman's bluff. Give him a real, realistic offer, put it on the table, and let's see what happens with that. But you still have another option also with Sean Porter. Sean Porter's saying he's willing to fight you. He's saying that's a fight he's willing to do. That's a big fight. If Earl Spence was to fight Sean Porter next, that's a 300,000 plus pay-per-view fight. They did over 300,000 last time. They did a good gate, and it was a spectacular fight that people wanted to see again. So the fact that he did what he was able to do with Earl Spence, just automatically puts Terrence Crawford in a great situation because now you can kind of see, where you can see, between the two who does better or how they perform. And either one of these two fighters would be the best fighter Terrence Crawford has ever fought. Because there's not a single person that Terrence Crawford has fought in his career that would beat one of those two guys. Nobody. None. And people might say, oh, Gamble is 135 pounds. If he had to fight Sean Porter or Keith Thurman right now, he'd get knocked the F out. And Terrence Crawford would be fighting those two guys at that particular weight. So he has two great options that are available to him. If he's willing to, negotiate and pay the guys right. You have those available to you. And also when it comes to somebody like, Charlo, who was just talking about, he wasn't even disrespecting the guy. He's just saying, yo, Crawford is a good fighter, but when it comes to him and Earl Spence, I got Earl Spence winning that fight. I got Earl Spence taking that fight. That man chimes in talking about, Charlo better, relax, or he's gonna show him, who the real king of the jungle is. You know what I'm saying? Better watch his mouth. Stop running his mouth. Well, if you're about that life, go up and do that fight as well. There's no reason why you can't do that fight. You had Floyd Mayweather was at 135, 130 pounds or whatever, 130, 135 pounds, 130 pounds. He wanted likes of the Freitas. He wanted the Casamayors. He wanted the Ricky Hattons. He wanted all these guys. He wanted the Prince Nasids. He wanted all these guys. They wouldn't fight him. So since they wouldn't fight him, he went and fought other dudes. He fought the Gennaro Hernandez. He fought the Manfredis. He fought the Diego Corrales. He fought the Joseo Castillos. He fought all those guys. The Endows. He fought all these guys. The Bays. He can do the same thing. You got the option to fight these other guys. So since you can't get that 1-2 fight that you want right now, one of them actually you said you wouldn't even take next, fight these other dudes. Floyd Mayweather moved up to 140 pounds, taking on the Chop Chop Corleys of the world. Moved up to one when Chop Chop Corley was Chop Chop Corley. You know what I mean? Moved up to 147 pounds, giving up a lot of weight. Off the rip, took on the top two guys in that division. Zab Judah was the top guy in the division, and he was undisputed. Actually, the last undisputed guy at 147 pounds ended up losing his belt. Lost his belt. So what does Floyd Mayweather does? He fights a guy that I don't remember his name right now. He's a piece of ish too, that dude. He's locked up right now for doing some effery. You know what I mean? Hope they're getting him in that prison hardcore right now for his piece of ish ass. But, he fought that dude. Then after fighting that guy, he also fought Zab Judah. He fought both of them. And then the next fight right after that moved all the way up to 154 pounds to take on the Oscar De La Hoya, giving up over 20 pounds for his first fight at 154 pounds. We also know he fought the likes of a Canelo Alvarez, giving up over 20 plus pounds on fight night, 16 plus pounds on fight night. He regularly gives up 15 plus pounds, 20 pounds on fight night, fighting at 147 pounds. He fought Cotto at 154 pounds, giving up 15 plus pounds, 15, 20 pounds. So if he can do that, there's no reason why, a Terrance Crawford who walks around at 170 pounds, high 60s, 170, why he can't fight at Jermell Charlo at 154 pounds. Absolutely no reason. Zero reason why he can't. Especially, people always want to, call Floyd a pussycat and this and that, and he doesn't push himself, he's soft. Well, if that's the case, then, a guy that's substantially much bigger than him should have no business, should have no issue doing partially of what he did in his career. Because to be honest, him being on a Floyd level would mean him actually going up all the way up to 168 pounds, believe it or not. Because Floyd Mayweather at 154 pounds is weighing in at 150 pounds for his bouts. He weighs 147 pounds. Usually when he's fighting at 147, he weighs at a month, 2 months before the fight. He's ready at 147. So he's literally fighting at his walk-around weight or above. So 154 shouldn't be a big deal for Terrance Crawford. It shouldn't be. And he's, quote, pound for pound number one in the world, right? Pound for pound. Pound for pound. Which means you can go up in these weights, and you can do your thing against the best of them. So him versus Charlo, that shouldn't be an issue. Go up to you're the WBO champion. Go fight maybe a Texera, force that fight, go up to 154, take that bout, win that belt, and then 3 months later, take on Charlo in a unification. And if you believe in yourself, so you beat Charlo and you show everybody what you're all about, you don't even need Errol Spence anymore. Because now you can go fight for undisputed without Errol Spence. Where when Earl Spence, comes up, he has to come see you because you got all the belts. Or you at least put yourself into a situation where when it comes to negotiations and everything, you're on an equal playing field. They can't do anything but give you 50-50 because of what you've done and because of where you're at. You might even be in a space where you can, ask for more than that, maybe even, depending on how things go. So, if you truly believe in yourself, and you're really about that life like you can claim, there should be no reason for you not to go do it. So you got a lot of options, man. For a man who kept crying and crying and crying and crying about how no one wants to fight him and he doesn't have any options, he has a lot of options right now. So we'll see if he takes these options or if he decides to go another route. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.